All right then, troops. As always, we're off to an absolute flyer here. So first episode in the series, the first setting we're looking at is disable capacity allocation by environment admins. And I was doing some testing on this, and it seems simple enough to set up, but with a few caveats that I want to run through. So the way that you can get to this through the Power Platform Admin Center is if you select Manage and then go into Tenant Settings, then it's this first setting here, so Add-on Capacity Assignments. And essentially, the detail is control who can allocate add-on capacity in an environment. And the default setting is any environment admin. And if you switch this over to only specific admins, it will restrict the additional capacity allocation to only global admins and Dynamics 365 service admins, as well as Power Platform admins, I believe. So if we look at the official docs on this, you can see here essentially what I've just said: Power Platform admins, Dynamics 365 admins, and obviously global admins are the people who can allocate capacity. So what does this actually look like? So I'll leave this on for now, but if we go to licensing, they've actually moved where capacity add-ons used to be. So if you went to Dataverse, for example, you'll see this banner here, which essentially click on the environment to see the trends, see where storage is being managed. And add-ons, I believe, is where the error actually is. So see where your org is managing them, and navigate to summary to manage add-ons. So you can see add-ons here, but you can see there's little detail, and it says also use the new Dataverse licensing experience. So if you select Dataverse or any product under the licensing panel here, you've then got the option to kind of manage your capacity as you'd expect. So this allows you to allocate capacity based off of your tenant shared capacity. So if, let's say, for example, you've got capacity pack add-ons that equate to 10 gigabyte, but you need 7 of those gigabytes to be in your production environment, you can select the environment that you wish to have the additional capacity, and then you can increase that amount. At the moment, this is a demo environment which doesn't have any capacity aside from development environment allocation, so that's why you get the errors here. Now, where the confusion comes is if I change this setting, so if I switch over and I go back to tenant settings and I set this to be only specific admins and let that save, I've set up a demo user, Big Dave, first name Big, last name Dave, and he has got access to only the one environment, and he's an environment system administrator on that specific environment. And as you might expect, if I've got that setting switched on, did I change that? Let's refresh. If you've got that setting switched on to be only specific admins, as I do here, as you'd expect, when I go through to the licensing experience, I get an error basically saying I need to be a specific administrator. So that seems to make sense, right? However, if I then switch this back over to any environment admin and switch back over, make sure I do a hard refresh. And for the purpose of the video, I won't log out and log back in, but I've been logging back out, logging back in. I left it for a couple of hours. Still don't get the access unless I assign myself Power Platform Administrator or any of the other roles here. And I was doing a little bit of digging, and I just can't figure out how I can manage capacity add-ons now in this new experience, even if I've got that setting set to any environment admin. What I did notice, though, is if I switch over and I went into manage capacity add-ons for a specific environment, so if I went to the one that my Big Dave account is an environment, a system administrator for, if I go through and copy this URL into here, where I'm the system admin, my Big Dave account, I get the ability to manage the capacity. Now, I must admit, bit of a bad demo here, because I've got no capacity on this tenant. It would make no difference anyway because I can't allocate the capacity. So maybe that's something I need you guys to test for me. However, if I went through back into my kind of daddy admin account, went back to environments, I'm in the wrong browser. So if I went back here, change environment, and I just selected my Dave Buckley environment and used this URL, as you'd imagine, when I go through to here, as you can see, I've got no environments to manage. It kind of kicks me out and it doesn't like it. So typical that the first episode in the series has got a bit of a question mark hovering around it, but I'm going to do a little bit of research and figure out if that's the experience that they want, whether that's something that's actually incorrect or something that needs to be changed. But for me, I think this is something that you should have enabled anyway. You don't want any old maker or environment admin being able to allocate capacity to environments that you might not want them to. I think they should be locked down and limited to global admins, Power Platform administrators. So even though this is set to false by default, I believe that you should set this to true, and that will prevent someone from just allocating all of the capacity in the environment and then you needing to buy more capacity packs because they're expensive. So thanks for listening to the first episode in the series, and I'll catch you in the next one.